I was singing here. Now, we can't talk about mermaids without talking about The Little Mermaid. And you can't talk about The Little Mermaid without going into the boring corporate stuff. And that's when the book Disney War comes in. I truly love this book. It's honestly an awesome read. I 100% recommend it, guys. People who were essentially involved in the making of The Little Mermaid. And I'm not talking about Ron Clements because he has his hand on The Little Mermaid. No, I'm talking about people like Michael Eisner, Jeffrey Katzenberg, and Roy E. Disney. Like, these are heads of the company of its time. Let's discuss what was going on behind the scenes in The Little Mermaid. Eisner issued invitations to one of his Gong shows, a first for the animators. He told them he wanted 5 new ideas from each of them. Clements went to a bookstore and started leafing through a book of fairy tales. One caught his eye, Hans Christian Andersen's Little Mermaid. Though the fairy tale had a sad ending, the mermaid dies, Clements wrote a 2-page treatment in which the mermaid becomes human after meeting her prince. He was also a big fan of science fiction at the time, so his other ideas were all science fiction, including one he jotted down, Treasure Island in Space, which came into fruition in 2002 with the movie Treasure Planet. Eisner and Katzenberg went around the table, and the animators got a crash course in high concept. When Clements' turn came, he said The Little Mermaid. Gong! Eisner and Katzenberg said in unison. Too similar to Splash, which was the 1984 movie starring Tom Hanks and Daryl Hannah. Clements left the meeting depressed. He'd been gonged after only a few words. But Roy came up to him afterward and said he liked the Little Mermaid idea. The next morning, Katzenberg called to say he read all 5 of his ideas overnight. He too said he liked the mermaid idea and suggested that Clements expand his treatment. Clements was amazed and impressed that a high-ranking executive like Katzenberg had actually read his material and reacted to it so quickly. The book talks about many things that happened behind the scenes of The Little Mermaid. One of the behind the scenes that I really liked hearing was the music. The late Howard Ashman composed the music for The Little Mermaid. He also went on to compose other music for other Disney movies such as Aladdin and Beauty and the Beast. I find his interaction with Jeffrey Katzenberg quite interesting. At one early screening, kids squirmed during the musical sequence Kiss the Girl, a gentle lullaby that was still in black and white sketches. "We're cutting that song," Katzenberg said as soon as the screening was over. "You can't cut the song," Ashman practically yelled. "Okay, we'll cut it in half," Katzenberg replied. Ashman looked wounded. Everyone tried to change Katzenberg's mind, and finally the lead artist, Glenn Keane, got him to leave the song alone for one more screening. Ashman and the others held their breath as the sequence, now in full color, played. No one in the audience budged, and the song stayed. Little Mermaid opened in November of 1989. The heroine of Hans Christian Andersen's story, the mermaid, failed in her bid to become human and became a disembodied spirit regulated to spending centuries in limbo, wrote Jeanette Maslin in the New York Times. The Little Mermaid, a glorious Walt Disney version of this tale, and the best animated Disney film in at least 30 years, is due for immortality of a happier kind. The Little Mermaid became a cultural phenomenon. It spanned sequels, a TV series, and even a live-action film. I would say that The Little Mermaid is in itself one of the most popular mermaids of all time. Now, everybody has their favorite mystery girl. I mean, we do have the whole Nancy Drew series, and yeah, she's probably one of the most famous mystery girl. But have you ever heard of Roxy Hunter? The Roxy Hunter series consists of 4 Nickelodeon movies that are Canadian. Aria Wallace plays Roxy Hunter, and if you guys don't know who Aria Wallace is, then if you guys watched iCarly, you would know that she is Carly's biggest fan.
Look it! With this remote control, I can click through a slideshow.
And what's so funny about this is that I never personally watched the films, but I do remember the ads on TV all the time, and it just made me want to watch the movie so bad. Especially for the myth of the mermaid. That one was definitely everywhere. In the myth of the mermaid, the movie starts in Serenity Falls, where Roxy Hunter lives. Roxy, learning about a reporter's competition where the grand prize is $300, she's determined to make the best story of the century. So she starts investigating. She gets a tip from the sheriff that a mystery girl has been found at a restaurant and is unable to speak. And that's where the mystery begins. It's so funny, with something that you've never really watched before is still considered nostalgia. I mean, this is still engraved in my memory many years after just seeing the advertisements for this movie.
Just through the rainbow from the world we know lies Fairytopia, where Barbie as Alina and her puffball friend Bibble have just come through a great adventure. When she discovered that her peony home was sick, Alina embarked on a journey to get help. After meeting new friends and overcoming many dangers, Alina had to face the evil Laverna to save Fairytopia. As a reward for her bravery, the enchantress granted Alina her greatest wish, to be able to fly. Now, her beautiful wings will carry her to a new adventure. This fantastic journey will take her into a wonderful new and enchanted world. The world of Mermaidia.
There are only 3 Barbie movies that I consider my top 3. Barbie as the Princess and the Pauper, which is my all-time favorite. Barbie in the Christmas Carol, which is underrated and I actually very much enjoy. And Barbie Fairytopia Mermaida. Yeah, I mean, who doesn't love a Barbie movie that has fairies and mermaids? I mean, that's 2 fantasies in one. I mean, come on, that's a good deal. Now, the main character of Barbie Fairytopia is Elena, a fairy who is a wingless fairy who gains her wings after saving the ruler of Fairytopia. In the second movie, Elena is called to save a merman prince who she befriends in the first movie, and that is where she trades her wings for a tail. Now, even though this is a mermaid film, it's not necessarily a mermaid film. I mean, Elena is a fairy and she gets the tail through magic, and she gets it 40 minutes into the movie. If you really want to learn about a real Barbie mermaid movie, that's gotta be Barbie in a Mermaid Tale. But I'm clearly talking about this movie for nostalgic reasons because it was something that I watched as a kid and that I was fascinated with. I loved all the villains. The villains were so crazy. I loved the sea creatures. I mean, I love how the fact that the sea creatures get to wear jewelry. I think that's really pretty. And I just love the whole color and the whole sort of sea aesthetic. It's so beautiful. It's something that as a kid, it just made me want to be a mermaid. The toy marketing for this was fantastic. I mean, look at this. Imagine having a wings and a tail. You can turn your Barbies into fairies or a mermaid. I mean, that in itself was so cool. I mean, girls really had it good back in the early 2000s.
Crabs. They found me. For the shell? Did you know you can hear the ocean through these?
Yeah,
But
well, it works both ways.
the ocean can hear you too.
I can hear the ocean. Many thanks to my boyfriend who gave me this pretty seashell. Aquamarine is a movie which stars Emma Roberts JoJo and Sarah Paxton. Emma Roberts and JoJo's characters, Claire and Haley, they both are best friends, but the problem is that Haley is destined to move to Australia. On a stormy night, Haley prays to the gods of thunder and wind and whatnot, jokingly, and wants to stay at her hometown with her best friend. When the storm comes on, they see that the beach is a mess, and the beach is where Claire's grandparents kind of run. Claire and Haley discover that there is something in the pool, and to their surprise, it's a mermaid named Aquamarine. Aquamarine is a girl who is engaged to this merman, but it's all an arranged marriage, and she runs away from home trying to get away from the arranged marriage. And she must fall in love with someone else before her father forces her to marry someone else. It's a cute movie. I remember this being shown all over, and I thought it was really cute. It's definitely cheesy, but it's definitely very endearing. If you grew up watching Nickelodeon in the early 2000s, you might remember this Australian show, H2O, Just Add Water. I mean, this show came on all the time, and it's actually quite famous. It aired in 120 countries with 250 million viewers. I mean, what? The show stars Cara Behind, Claire Holt, and Phoebe Tonkin. And the last two you may be familiar with because they starred in a little fantasy series that involve vampires. Can you guess what it is? Claire Holt plays Emma, a dedicated swimmer, Cleo, Emma's loyal friend, and Ricky, the rebellious new girl in town. The girls go on a boat ride where they accidentally strand themselves in the middle of the sea until they spot Mako Island, a forbidden island where there's no telling what lies in there. But being stranded on the sea compared to being on an island, they decide to take a chance on the island. From Ariel to Aquamarine, H2O to Barbie Mermaidia, and even Roxy Hunter, mermaids have always been a part of the magic that shaped our childhood. But it didn't start with movies. Mermaid myths go way back. Mysterious, beautiful, sometimes dangerous. And that mystery is what keeps us hooked for generations. Especially when there's a little bit of nostalgia that's involved. And that's what makes our childhood so special. I'll see you guys next time. Bye!